Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tarot Thursday. I'm Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Reverend Don Lewis.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, always glad to have you. And tonight we will be taking your tarot questions and doing 3-card, more or less, pulls. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post them in chat for us. Hello, Mystique. Good to see you. Welcome. And
Hello,
we
hello.
also have some exciting news. You want to share that with us, everyone?
Yes, the Tarot of Hecate, which both Reverend Mary and I use for reading here on Tarot Thursday, is now available again after, I think it's been several years that it's been out of print. And you can buy your own copy if you want one. And you can find that at CorellianPublishing.com under the Infinite Tarot button. And I believe under our smiling faces is the full link below.
Yes. And hello, Renee. Good to
Hi,
see
Renee.
you again.
Now
And
we
is it
are.
still,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, is it still incredibly hot in Danville?
No, no, it was actually quite nice today. And hello to
That's
Jade in
good.
the chat room.
Hello, Jade. Good to see you.
Now, I went to bed last night. It was quite warm. I had my industrial fan pointed at me. And sometime during the night, I woke up to 63-degree weather with the industrial fan pointed on me and wondering why I felt like I needed a cover.
It must have been a pleasant sensation.
Yes, it was. And it was overall quite a nice day. Oh, and hello to Brian in the chat room.
Brian, good to see you. And Renee has asked for a general reading. Brian, tell Elvis I said hello and it's not 10 o'clock yet.
And Brian would also like a general reading.
All right, Brian, you're next.
Okay, so I will start since I've already drawn my cards.
Okay.
The first card is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is feeling like you're held back by situations, feeling like there are things you would like to be doing but just can't do right now. It's not necessarily a bad card. It's a card of just not being able to do quite what you want to do. It's followed, however, by the Six of Wands, which is victory. So I would say that in terms of the things that are concerning her, Renee is actually in a very good situation that just doesn't quite reach as far as she would like to reach at this moment. Followed by the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is travel, movement. It can be internal movement, but it's often external movement. And it's saying that there is travel coming in the future. And what I would say is that perhaps she's in a good situation. Might like a little more external stimulation than is available at this exact moment. But excitement is coming. So, a good reading.
All right, Renee. So the first thing I've got for you is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is indicating things are doing well for you in the material plane. I have the Chariot, which also indicates movement or travel. And then I've got the Eight of Wands, which indicates things could change for you suddenly. And I'm going to pull one more card, and I get the Six of Lamps. And this is showing a vision quest, which suggests you might want to pay more attention to spirituality at this point. So there you go. And now Brian has asked for a general reading. Okay. So the first card I've got for you is the Seven of Swords. So you are feeling a bit overwhelmed right now, but there is a path to victory. You may have to look for it, but it's there. I've got the Nine of Pentacles, which is indicating things are going well for you in the material realm, and you are seeing a lot of good fortune there. And then I've got the Hanged Man, which represents Odin hanging on Yggdrasil for 9 days and 9 nights to get the wisdom of the runes. So this is talking about spiritual learning and having to work for it or pay a price for it. So overall, I would call this a favorable reading, Brian.
And I have drawn Fortune, which is a gift from fate. And so I think that you're going to find in the near future, Brian, I think that you will find that the universe will be pushing certain things in your direction. And at the same time, you have the Five of Wands, which is conflict. And sometimes internal conflict, sometimes external conflict. But you'll find that that gift of fate, which is very positive, may cause some mixed feelings both in and around you. And the Eight of Swords says that you may find that though it's a good situation, you can't do everything you want to do. So what I would say is that you should find yourself in a pretty good situation here presently. You should be getting what you've worked for. But it will come with its own problems, as all things do, although it also comes with many positive things. And there you go.
Okay. Now we have Mystique's reading. Mystique is considering going back to college. Jade has asked for a reading. Damico, thank you for the compliment on my hat. I absolutely love it. And are you able to read Ulrich's question?
Perhaps in a moment.
Okay.
I do not like this new format. It's not allowing me to God damn it. Yeah, I cannot read it. I would have to translate it, and I cannot.
Yeah, I cannot copy and paste it for translation either.
So I apologize.
Ulrich, if you could translate your question into English and post it again, we would be happy to read for you. And Mystique adds that they would like to make a difference among the pagans in Arkansas.
Okay. And for Mystique, I've drawn 3 cards. The first one is the King of Swords. The King of Swords is good judgment and good decisions. And the first thing it's saying to Mystique is to trust your judgment, Mystique, and do what feels right to you in this situation. If it seems like it's the right thing to do, if you feel like it's what you need to do, don't question it. Trust your own judgment and go with that judgment. It's followed by the Two of Swords, which says another person is going to be very important in this decision. That could be a romantic partner or a business partner, but someone who will be giving you assistance of some sort. Could be a parent or a family member, but you will not be doing it alone. There is help for you, and it's followed by the King of Cups, which is happiness, which says to me that yes, if you go back to college, you'll be able to do what you want to do. You'll be pleased with the outcome. And there you go.
All right, so I had a jumper. So the jumper was time. And here we see the Mayan god of time who is talking about how time is a cycle that repeats over and over again. So if the time is not exactly right now, the time will come. And before I show you the next card, I will tell you that when Reverend Don originally released the Infinite Tarot, one of the options was to commission a card. And so I've drawn the Queen of Swords, and yes, it's me. And the Queen of Swords is advising you to look at what has worked for you previously and what has not worked for you previously while you make this decision. And then I have got the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles says you have the financial resources if this is what you choose to do. And the Fool says that you're at the start of a cycle and you can actually go in any direction you can choose. So it's up to you where you want to go at this point. So I hope that is helpful for you, Mystique.
Yes, indeed.
All right. And Jade is asking if there's anything they can do about their romantic relationship.
Which one of us is going first this time? I've lost track.
I can go first.
Okay.
Okay, so the first card I've got is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is telling you to look at what has worked in the past, what hasn't worked in the past, and consider your best course of action. And then we've got the Eight of Cups. And here we see someone who is surrounded by ghostly monsters, but they're not real. So, whatever you're afraid of, the truth is not as bad as you think it is. And finally, we have the Queen of Pentacles. And while this Pentacles relates more to the material realm than emotions, the Queen of Pentacles is a woman who plans wisely. So consider what you need to do in your situation and then go from there.
Very cool. And I also had an escapee. And if the question is what to do about the relationship situation, the escapee, the magus, the magician, provides the answer, and that is to use your magic, use your metaphysical abilities. How to do that is another question, but you'll find the answer within your metaphysical abilities. That could be, if you're looking for an answer to a question within this relationship, you might want to look at divination, or you might want to seek a vision or a dream. If you're looking for a particular outcome to situations around, you might want to do manifestation for them. Now, our actual 3 cards we've drawn, we have the 9 of Coins. The 9 of Coins says that you have all the ability you need to do whatever you need to do. You can stand on your own 2 feet. You don't need any other people. You may want them, but you don't need them. And you are in a good, strong situation for whatever you wish to do. It's followed by the Hierophant, which says, talk to your higher self, listen to your spiritual guidance, let deity, let spirit lead you. And it's followed by the Magic card. And so once again, turn to your metaphysics, turn to your knowledge of magic, turn to your knowledge of divination, and you'll find that you have all the tools to bring about what you need to bring about in this situation. And that's what I get. So there you go.
And I hope that is helpful. And next up, we have Ed. And Ed is thinking about an event and would love a reading.
Okay.
Hello, Ed. And you are welcome, Mystique. You're welcome, Renee.
So I have drawn the High Priestess, which is spiritual guidance, listening to the higher self. The King of Lamps, which is meditation, looking internally, and in a question like this, perhaps carefully examining the event. And then the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is the Ghastly Nightmare card. Um, but the ghastly nightmare card, like a nightmare, can maybe something that you would be afraid of, but it's not something that can hurt you. And in this question, it can be a situation which may not at first appear to be beneficial, but actually is. And so that's what I get. And there you go.
Okay, first card I get is the Three of Lamps, which means you will need to work together in community to make this a success. I've also got the Two of Pentacles, where we see a student learning from the master. A lot of times I read this card as the person I'm reading for is learning from a master, but I think it's more you're going to be mentoring people. And then here we've got the Two of Cups, which is a partnership. So yeah, you're going to be working with a lot of people in order to pull this off. So I hope that's helpful. Okay. And hello to Gwenny.
Hello, Gwenny.
And Jade, as far as what do I do about my romantic situation? You have the ability to handle it, is basically what the card said.
I think, well, I would assume the cards have said what needs to be heard, but for something more, how can I put it? I think we might need to know more about the specific situation depending on what kind of answer is being looked for. The answer that I got was to use your metaphysics for whatever the situation is. If you're seeking an answer, look to divination or um, other other metaphysical forms. If you're looking to create an effect, use your magic. And I think the way that I would take what I got was don't look so much for an external solution, but for an internal magical solution. So I don't know if that makes it clearer or not, but there you go.
Okay, and based on my reading, it was to look at what has worked in the past and what hasn't worked in the past and go from there. And now, Nisa has asked, will I be able to go to Vegas in July?
If Alicia is asking if she missed her reading, I don't think we've quite gotten there yet.
Yeah, Felicia, you were after Anissa. I believe it's your turn to go first.
So will Anissa go to Las Vegas in July? So first card is the Hierophant. And I would take that to mean speak with your higher self, seek out spiritual guidance as to whether this is the thing to do. The Eight of Lamps is achievement, getting what you've worked for. And I understand that to suggest that you probably can go. It's followed by the Nine of Wands, which is waiting for things to progress, waiting for things to change. And so I would be inclined to question. It makes me question whether or not you will go, but you can go. And whether you might be waiting for something. And then I drew an extra card, the Ace of Coins, which is money. And I would say take a good look at the financial situation, make sure that this is really the time to do it. And if you still wish to go, you'll be able to go. And so there you go.
All right. So the first card I got for you is the Nine of Lamps. And lamps is a suit of spirituality and magic. And 9 is around mastering your abilities. I've got the Four of Lamps, which is about realizing there is more available to you. And then I've got the Soul, where we see Mother Earth with a small child. And this card frequently shows up when our situation has lessons for us to learn. So, you can certainly get to Las Vegas if that's what you want to do, is how I'm reading it. But ask yourself if that's what you really need to do at this point. Because you're in a position where there are lessons you need to be learning from the universe. So, and I hope you find that helpful.
Yes, indeed.
And now Felicia has asked us for a general reading.
Okay. Which of us goes first this time?
I think you do.
Okay. First card is the Ace of Coins, which is money. So I would say to Felicia that she may find herself, I would think, in a positive financial situation here in the near future. With it is the King of Lamps. The King of Lamps is meditation, looking within. I would say to see how to react to that prosperity. And do not just take it at face value, but work with your higher self in terms of how you want to handle it. And then the Ten of Swords says, well, yes, but. The Ten of Swords is the ending of old situations to make way for new situations. That may even be where the prosperity is coming from, but you're going to find a lot of changeover, a lot of transformation in in the near future. And again, use your meditation and expect a good, prosperous time, but a lot of change. And there you go.
Okay, so the first card I've got for you is the Prince of Lamps. And the Prince of Lamps is about perfecting your magic and your spirituality. We've got the Ace of Wands, which is around your excuse me, which is around passion. So there's a lot of energy in your situation, Felicia. And I've got the Four of Wands. This card shows us a marriage, but it could be any sort of a partnership. But, so yeah, you are going to be working together with someone else or with other people on something. Excuse me, folks. So I hope that is helpful for you.
Yes, indeed.
And Brenda has asked for a reading regarding rekindling a previous relationship.
So is this, should she rekindle the previous relationship, or what are we asking?
Okay, Brenda, can you clarify that a little? Are you asking if you should do it?
I guess we can just ask about the relationship and see what comes. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. As long as this didn't end up with a restraining order, right, Brenda? I'm picturing her sticking her tongue out at me.
And she says, no, it did not.
I have to kid you, Brenda. You know that. I think I'm going first here. Okay, Brenda, so I had a jumper, and the jumper was the Chariot, which suggests movement and going places. The next card I drew is the Four of Lamps, and this shows a woman recognizing that there is more to her spiritual development than what she's done so far. But in your particular case, we could read it as there's more to this than what has developed. Aw, love you too, sis. Then I've got the Magus, which says you have the ability to manifest what you want in this situation. And I've got the Five of Pentacles, which suggests some caution in the material realm. So there you go. I would say overall it's looking fortunate.
I have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups can be illusion. It can be the choice of many different things. It's saying be careful that you're looking clearly at your situation. With it is the Ace of Coins, which is money. And so you may find that issues of prosperity play a role in this. And lastly, we have the Nine of Cups, or I'm sorry, the Nine of Lamps. And the Nine of Lamps is personal excellence, the ability really to do what you want, the ability to make your decisions and enforce them. And so what I would say is take a good hard look at the situation, make sure it's really what you want, and you can easily move forward with it. Do pay attention to financial aspects around it because there's a financial effect to it. But yes, if you seriously want it, by all means, go forward. And there you go.
Okay, and we've got a request from Gwenny. I can't get rid of feelings for a person I have no future with. There was an instant strong pull to this person, and I'm not sure why. It's different than I've ever experienced. You're welcome, Brenda. Ah, yes. Let me tell you about my first 3 marriages, also known as Karma 1, 2, and 3.
Well, yeah, I mean that's exactly. I mean that's not really a question per se, but as to the situation, that's obviously a karmic sort of relationship. And hello to Arlene in the chat room. When you have that kind of pull that isn't necessarily related to what's going on now, it's from past interactions with that soul, and yeah, that can be very good. Can also be very bad, and it can be a mixture. And that depends entirely on how you're relating to what that karmic tie is and how you're relating to it. And how do you govern that? You govern it through shadow work. Work with the feelings that you have, see what comes to you regarding their origins, and yeah, that kind of strong feeling isn't going to just go away. Um, And it's the karmic tie telling you you must look at that situation. You must look at that particular soul. And I've seen situations where that kind of karmic relationship is very positive, and others where it's not. And I'll draw a card for that. Why not? That's what we're here doing.
Why not draw a few
Yeah.
cards?
I've drawn the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups says to look carefully at the situation. Um, and with that, I will add the Eight of Cups, which says that the things you might be afraid of in this situation are phantoms. You don't really need to be afraid of them. So that's a good sign. And one more. Well, this relationship could take you into positive new directions. Well, let me remind myself of the exact phrasing of that question. It's a person you have no future with. So what it's saying then is actually, yeah, you need new directions. But yeah, don't let any fears associated with it overwhelm you. Take a good hard look at the connection and work with it in a kind of shadow work karmic sort of way. And you'll find that actually you can work through that karmic issue and release the person. And the simplest thing to do to begin is a burning, to release your bond to that person. And then work with meditation, work with shadow work, to work on all the things that were tied up in it. And I think that will help your situation.
And Jade has given us a little more clarity here.
Hmm.
Jade says, I live with my ex-wife and current husband.
Nothing complicated there. Um, well, I mean, as I recall, the answer to the question was to use your metaphysics. So I don't know necessarily what that means. Whether you are looking to form a triad, or whether you're looking to get rid of the X or get rid of the current one and keep the X. But whichever one it is, um, use your metaphysics to bring about the situation. If you're trying to figure out what you want, turn to divination and let's draw a card for each of these people. So I'm going to shuffle up the cards. I'm going to draw a card for the X and a card for the current. And a card for Jade. Well, the card for Jade is the Eight of Cups, back again. And what that says is, there are a lot of issues around this, none of which need to be as serious or as frightening as they may feel to you. Try to take a step back from them emotionally, and you may find the situation is clearer than it seems. For the X, we have the Prince of Swords. The Prince of Swords says make sure you get what you need out of that situation. Have a healthy dose of selfishness. When I first started reading tarot, I don't know how many years ago now, I took the more traditional view that this meant that the person was being selfish. But now I take it to mean that they need more self-interest in their situation. So I think you may be being a little too nice, maybe a little too generous, maybe just letting certain things go that you should not let go. So make sure that you're minding your boundaries and getting the things that you need out of that relationship. With the current person, we have the Queen of Coins, which is prosperity and stability. So I would say, just looking at the cards, I'd say that it would probably be beneficial for the X to go in their own direction. And again, ask Spirit for help with that. Maybe do a spell for whatever blessing would also help your X go in their needed direction. Something positive that also removes them from a difficult position. That would be my suggestion based on looking at these cards. And there you go. A little more explicit. Hopefully a little more helpful.
Okay. Hello, Fluffy. How are you?
Hello, Fluffy.
And let's see.
Oh, and Fluffy says, I hope everyone is well. Lord Don, grats on the relaunch of your tarot deck. Thank you, Fluffy. It's taken us a while to bring it back, but we're bringing it back.
Okay.
And once again, if you would like to get your copy of the Tarot of Hecate, go to GorelianPublishing.com under the Infinite Tarot button, and you can pre-order your copy there.
Let's see. Mystique has asked for another reading on their weaknesses going into this new phase of their life. Things or areas to be corrected or focused on. Then Arlene wants a reading on her new job. And Fluffy wants a general reading.
Okay.
Well,
Go on.
yours seems to be interesting, so go right ahead.
Well, based on the cards that I've gotten, I'd say that there are no weaknesses to be worried about. But I'll tell you what they are. First card is the Tower. The Tower is transformation. So I suppose a place you need to keep your eye on is the transformation that you're going through as you move into this situation. You're going to find that it is transforming you, it's transforming your life, it's giving you a freedom you've not previously had. But I wouldn't call that a weakness, but perhaps a place to keep your eye on. It's followed by magic, which is actively using the powers of your higher self in your life. Again, not a weakness, a strength, if anything, but something you might want to keep your eye on. And finally, the Prince of Cups. Well, the Prince of Cups is open emotional communication. So you may want to keep your eye on your communication and make sure that you keep it open and honest in expressing what you're feeling, expressing what you need in life. So that's another area to keep an eye on and make sure that you're doing that. But overall, it looks very positive to me looking at these cards.
So the first card I have is the Seven of Lamps. And here we see a woman bathing under the full moon. And this is about purification. It's just about releasing anything you feel might be holding back. Then I've drawn magic. So this is saying you have the ability to manifest what you need. And then I've drawn the Emperor, which is using temporal authority and understanding that things come and go. So I'm really not seeing weaknesses here, Misty. Use your abilities to manifest the life you want in this case. All right, Arlene, and congratulations on the new job.
Yes, indeed. All right. I guess we'll know if we should be congratulating after we draw the cards. Little psychic humor. Okay.
So I've got the Eight of Pentacles. So you may feel like you're being held back a little to start with, or things start off slowly. Then I've got the Seven of Pentacles. And so this is talking about considering your resources, although it's not a card where you're lacking in resources. And then I've got time, talking about cycles of time and how things repeat in cycles. So you may be feeling deja vu. And I'm going to draw one more card, and I get the Three of Lamps, which says anything you accomplish here is going to be a group effort.
So
Overall, I think it's going to be a fairly good situation.
I think it's going to be an adequate situation. But what I get is strength, which says that, and strength has a green background, so you can't see it, but strength, which says that you'll be perfectly able to bear this job. With it is the Eight of Wands, which says things will move very quickly. You may feel almost a little overwhelmed by it, but you can still easily deal with it. The stars are meditation, looking within, remind yourself what's important here. And then I drew one more card, and I drew the Ace of Coins, which is money, prosperity. And for that purpose, it will do very well for you. Otherwise, it's okay. Otherwise, it's a job. And it looks perfectly fine. But, is this your life's mission? No. Is this going to be the joy of your existence? No. Is it going to be a nice, prosperous job? Yes. So for what it needs to do, it will be good. And there you go. Because we all know your life's mission lies elsewhere.
Yes, we do. All right. And we're going to do the general reading for Fluffy. And I think we're coming on the top of the hour. So that's going to be our last reading. And you are welcome, Misty.
Yes, indeed. And by the way, if anyone would like to get a full-length private reading with either one of us, you can get that at CorellianPublishing.com as well, or at Divination TV.
Yes.
Well, this time it sounds like yours is interesting.
So Fluffy, for a gay man in Pride Month, I have drawn Temperance. So here we have a figure who is both male and female, showing in lightness and dark, both a person of color and white. And yes, I just had to chuckle at the symbolism. But temperance is about taking many different pieces and bringing them together in a whole so that the sum of the whole is greater than the sum of the individual parts. And then we've got the Princess of Swords, which suggests that in your current situation, you may be too circumspect in your communication. So be sure you are saying what you need to say. And the Princess of Pentacles. So you've got the resources to do what you want to do. Now is not the time to hold back. Go for it.
Yay. I have the Seven of Coins, and I would interpret this as having a number of different options before you, not knowing necessarily what you want just now, but having all kinds of different possibilities. And it's followed by the Fool. And I don't always, the green screen. But the Fool is the chaos moment. It's the moment when everything is possible. And you can choose your path, any path that you want. They're laid out in front of you. You just have to choose it. And none of them, well, it's Schrodinger's manifestation. The possibility is all over the place, but none of them exists until you take that first step. And it's followed by the Moon. And The moon is magic, religious, and spiritual expression, and it's saying, look to what you believe. Let your spirit guides, your patron deity, etc. Let them guide you, and let that inner voice guide you in making the decision of what direction to go in, and um, and use your magic to make it happen. And it should go well. And there you go. And Jason's
Fluff.
or Fluffy says, "I fully agree with the quantum cat scenario."
Yeah, that is such a fluffy scenario. All right. Would you close us out with a prayer, please?
Certainly. But that hour went quickly.
It certainly did.
Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives, and we ask you to send us the answers that we need in life, whether through divination, through visions, through whatever means. Help us to know the things we seek to know and to have the answers we require. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, with great love, knowing you are always with us, but from respect, we thank you for your presence now and always in our lives, and may you be blessed now and always. And may you be blessed now and always.
Thank you all for joining us, and blessed be everyone.
Blessed be.